All right. Hello and welcome to the Podcast Engineering Show. My name is Chris Curran, and this is a very special episode. Normally, I do either a daily goodie episode where I overview my daily goodies, like 8 or 9 of them, or I actually interview people about their podcast production. But today is a very specific and special episode because I'm making a big announcement. I have big news. Plus, I'm actually demonstrating the difference between the Electro-Voice RE320 and the RE20. So right now, I'm on the RE20, and it's plugged directly into my Sound Devices Mix Pre 6. It's a first gen Mix Pre 6. And I'll be switching back and forth a little bit in this episode, and I'll tell you when I do that. So the audio you're hearing is completely raw. I'm not going to EQ it and compress it and do all the stuff I normally do because I just want you to hear the raw microphone audio. But I will adjust the levels to make both microphones sound the same volume to you, mostly because the RE320 actually has a very strong output level, which is really good. And the RE20, the output level is about average. So anyway, I'll demonstrate that later. And at the end is when I'll demonstrate the output difference of these two mics. And also check out the post on the website because I put up a picture of these two microphones on one stand sitting on my desk, at my main battle station. So if you just want to see my setup when I'm recording this, you can check that out. Okay, so time for the big announcement. And this is something, but let's switch mics. So right now we're on the RE20. Let's switch to the RE320. Okay, now we are on the RE320. I'm sure it sounds a lot different. You can judge for yourself. So right now we're on the RE320. And just to go quickly back and forth, just to get the flavor, let's go back to the RE20 for a second right now. All right, back on the RE20. This is the RE20, and classic microphone, of course. And now let's go back to the 320. All right, we are back on the RE320, and I'm going to stay on this one for a little while. I don't know, this RE320, it's a microphone that I've tried it many times. I mean, I own one. I'm talking into it right now, and I like it a lot, but for my voice, it doesn't seem like the perfect microphone, but when you take in all the attributes of this microphone, it just has everything, and it does it, and it sounds really good. So I don't know, like, a lot of people, if they don't know what mic to buy, I'll recommend an RE320 or an SM7B or even an RE20. So this mic is definitely up there with ones that I recommend for people. And a lot of people do use this mic. I think the immortal Dave Jackson still uses an RE320, if I'm not mistaken. All right, but let's get to the big announcement. Okay, it's something I've actually mentioned a few times, but now it's getting serious. So what I'm talking about is the podcast production group on Locals. So I started this podcast production group on this platform called Locals, which is a great platform. I'll get into that in a little bit. And I've had this group for a few months, maybe even a little more than a few months. But I made the decision to put a lot of time and energy into this group. So you're invited. Come join the party. It's just a great group. There's all kinds of amazing podcast editors and producers in the group already, and we're just getting started. It's just great. And think about a Facebook group, this is like way, way, way higher quality than the average Facebook group. So before I tell you more about the group, I'll just let you know, there's a link in the description here in the show notes where you can get 1 free month of supporter status if in the podcast production group. And there's it's limited to 10 people. So if you want to join the group, well, first of all, you can join the group for free always. You can join the group for free. So if you want to join, just join for free. But 10 people that use that link, the first 10 are going to have supporter status, which means that they can comment, they can post, and they can see exclusive content just for the supporters. And by the way, the supporter status normally is $5 a month. So, I mean, That's not going to break anyone's bank. So just to be in the group and be interacting with all these great people in the space, it's so worth it. It's crazy. So the quality of the community is really high. I've been posting a lot of good information in there. I'm posting every day. So that just shows you, how much energy I'm putting into this. Other people are posting as well, and it's just way better than any Facebook group. I'm sorry, Steve Stewart. Of course, Steve runs the Podcast Editors Club on Facebook, which, by the way, is a great group. I think they're over 5,000. Well, definitely over 5,000, maybe over 6,000 by now. But here's the thing. That group only discusses post-production. They do not talk about microphones. They do not talk about recording. So that's a lot. That's like at least half the production in podcasting that group doesn't talk about. So anyway, this group here, podcast production group or community, whatever, we talk about anything and everything involved with podcast production, right? We could talk about mics, record everything, post-production, editing, anything and everything. So, and Locals itself, I'm not sure if you know about the Locals platform. And let me switch to the RE20 right now. Hold on one second. All right, we're back on the RE20 microphone. Such a great mic. Oh, I forgot to mention, this RE20 that I'm speaking into is one of the newer RE20s, meaning from the last, 25 years or so. Because before that, the RE20s were made a little different, and I actually own one of the vintage RE20s. But I'm not using the vintage one now. Right now, I'm using the same one that if you went out and bought one today, this is the one you would get. So I thought I would, obviously, when I'm doing a comparison, use this one. So Locals is a very cool platform, and I really love it. And if you don't know about it yet, you can just download it. Just download the app, create an account. You can go check out all kinds of creators are on there, building communities. And it's a great social media experience. I like to think that let's put it this way. The way that Locals works, it pretty much keeps out all the useless, nasty trolls, right? Because that's the problem with social media. You either have people who are angry and bitter and resentful, just going off on things, or you have people that they just want to, milk everyone for all their information. They just want to ask a million questions and get almost like personal coaching through the comments. Which, by the way, that's fine to do in our group as well. But you know what I mean? A lot of people on social media, they're just out for themselves and they just take. They don't really give much. And forget about, even beyond that, there's people who are just downright nasty. So Locals solves that by, they allow anyone to join any group. You can join any community you want on Locals. Oh, my voice just cracked. But unless you become a supporter, you actually are not allowed to comment or post anything to the group yourself. So that's why I'm saying if you go to our podcast production community, you can join it, you can check it out, see everything we're doing. And then if you do want to, interact and share things and ask questions, answer questions, then you can, join, become a supporter for $5 a month, and then you can do everything. And so it's great. It's like so it keeps out people who are, you might call them tire kickers and anything nasty. So I like that. I don't know. At first I was like, I wasn't sure about this approach to a social media site, but you know what? It's great. It's just great. So I don't know. You can go to the group and tell me what you think. Some of my recent posts there, just today, I posted stem tracks from shockwavesound.com, which is pretty cool. Shockwave Sound is where you can get, your intro music and outro music and stuff like that. And they're offering stem tracks for some music now. Another recent post, Riverside.fm introduced their iOS app. I make a lot of short tutorial videos, so I'll just share my screen and I'll show you a plugin or show you how I'm doing something in the DAW, like a 2 or 3 or 4 minute video. Sometimes they're longer, actually. In fact, most times they're longer, but just little tidbits of information, and other people are sharing good stuff too. And I also shared about there's a free EQ game from Sound Gym. Anyway, I made a post about that. So it's kind of like a lot of short tutorials, a lot of news, a lot of people chiming in, like people who really know what they're talking about, chiming in on things. It's just really cool. So anyway, that's my big news for today. I really encourage you to go join the locals community. You know, if you like this show, if you're a fan of this show, if you like me, if you like Barry, definitely go join the locals group. And, you know, you don't have to become a supporter, but at least join for free and you could check out everything we're doing. You can watch all the videos. You can read all the posts. Sometimes I post audio only, and you'll be able to hear that. So you'll be able to consume all the content for free. So definitely go sign up. The URL is in the description, but I'll also say it out loud here, podcastproduction.locals.com. So podcastproduction.locals.com. And again, in the show notes here, there's a link where you can get the supporter status for free for a whole month. And it's only for the first 10 people. So check that out. I'm just excited about building a community, you know, because it's so high quality. That's what I love about it. It really, it's completely different than a Facebook group. It just feels so good. And that's why I'm so psyched about building the community there. So, all right, well, I've been talking on the RE20 for a little bit. Let's switch back over to the 320. All right, I am back on the RE320, and I'm not even wearing headphones. When I record these like little solo episodes, so what I do is I put on my headphones at first, and I just sort of monitor the audio to make sure it's coming through and make sure there's not like, you know, like weird static in the signal. But once I check it and it sounds fine, then I take off my headphones and I don't wear headphones when I record these because, you know, why bother? I'm just me talking into a mic, and I have good mic technique, right? I'm very careful with the mic technique. So, all right, couple other things. I'm looking for podcast producers and editors to invite onto this show. I want to interview more podcast producers, podcast editors, podcast engineers. So if you know anyone, please let me know. Or maybe you want to be a guest on my show and talk about, you know, all your equipment setup and your production workflow and all your, you know, your DAW, your plugins, everything. Because that's what we get into on the show. We go really deep and technical. And another thing I want to do is I want to interview some engineers who work on the most popular podcasts. So I'm actually going to start like just looking through the podcast charts to see what are the most popular podcasts. And I want to reach out. First of all, I need to find out who is, you know, producing the audio and, you know, mixing it and, you know, producing the audio. And then I have to reach out to them and invite them onto my show. So if you know of anyone who produces a show for a big popular podcast, please let me know. And please ping that. If you want to, you can even ping that person and tell them that I'd be interested in interviewing them on my show. So my question for you is, what podcasts have you been listening to that you feel have a high production quality? Have you listened to a show recently and been like, and thought to yourself, man, this sounds good. Wow, this is a great sounding podcast episode. If so, what show was it? Let me know, because I'm really looking to connect with people who are producing really high quality shows and have them on my show. I want to talk to them and I want to go over how they're producing these episodes and share these interviews with you. So, all right. So the last switch right now, we've been on the 320. I'm going to switch to the RE20 and then we're going to finish it up. All right. Back on the RE20. And so here's the thing. Which of these mics do you like better on my voice? So you can comment on the post on the website, or you can, by the way, I'm sure you know, but did you know that you can always contact me if you want to ask me a question or tell me something about your setup or anything? You can just send me a note through the website, podcastengineeringschool.com, and there's a contact page. So podcastengineeringschool.com, and then just go to the contact page and write me a note. Say hi. I love when people say hi because, you know, if you're just talking into a microphone by yourself for too long, it's weird, actually. So let me know which one you like better, the RE20 or the RE320. I had it in my mind, and by the way, right now, again, we're on the RE20. But I had it in my mind a while ago that I wanted to make the RE320 my main microphone, but I never did. I mean, I listened to how it sounds on my voice, and it I don't know, it didn't feel like the hands down winner. And so I don't know. Anyway, so for about the past year or so, I've been using the Rode NT1 microphone, which is a condenser microphone, which is a completely different animal, right? Condensers are much more crisp and clear. You know, even though the 320 is very crisp and clear, condensers are way more crisp and clear. So, I forgot one last thing we got to do is I'll show you the raw levels. So right now, we're on the RE20. So let me switch over back to the 320. And so right now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put both microphones at the exact level they were recorded at. And I want you to hear the difference in output level of these microphones, because the RE320 has quite a bit more output level than the RE20 and most other microphones, by the way. The RE320 just has a very hot output, which means that when you plug it in, you do not have to crank the preamp as much as you normally would. So that's one of the biggest benefits of the RE320. But let me show you the difference in level, and then we'll finish this episode. So right now we're on the RE20. Now I'm going to flatten out the levels to reflect exactly what they were recorded at with the same gain. So let's switch over to the 320 right now. All right, this is the RE320, and this is the raw recording level. Well, I'm just matching the recording levels between both mics, but this is the 320, and this is me talking into it, and I'm talking a little loud, so I'm going to have to make sure I do that into the RE20 as well. But here's the RE320. Now let's switch over to the RE20, and you can hear how much quieter it is. All right, this is the RE20, and I'm speaking into it, hopefully with the same amount of energy and volume. This is the RE20, and you'll probably be able to hear how this is not as loud as the RE320, right? Just the raw output of the microphone. So I just thought I would demonstrate the difference. And so this is the RE20, and for the last time, I'm going to switch back to the 320, and so you can hear the output level. All right, this is the RE320, and we are done. So this is the level, the raw recorded level, and so I thank you for listening. I thank you for being part of this show, this community. I hope you enjoyed the comparison between the RE320 and the RE20, and I hope you go join our locals group right away. Seriously, join the group, say hi, or if you're not a supporter, just hang out and enjoy the group. So, all right? All the links are in the description. First 10 people who click that special link will get supporter status for a month for free. So anyway, all right, we'll see you there, and we'll see you probably next week or the week after with an interview episode. It's been like a month and a half since I put out an interview episode, so I am going to do that. So, all right, take care, everybody. See ya.